Kingston's K-Rock 1057. Call Taz here on the Shadow and Taz Marine Action cell phone and see if they've taken off yet. It's ringing.
Shadow and Taz Action cell phone, Taz speaking.
Hello, Taz. Shadow and Tony here. What's the verdict? Are you guys taking off?
Yes, we are taking off. John says as long as we don't think we're going to encounter the thunder showers, he's going to get out there and he's going to get in the water and he's going to tough through the waves and the wind.
The swim is about raising money and awareness for programs that we're developing in partnership with the Kingston Family YMCA.
The major focus of the Y is on youth and on developing youth into tomorrow's leaders. So our logo is we build strong kids, strong families, and strong communities, trying to incorporate those three areas and making sure that when we get involved in community initiatives, they're for the benefit of everybody, whether they actually belong to the Y or not.
Vicki, my wife, and I moved to Kingston 2 or 3 years ago now, I guess, with a view of starting programs for young people with physical disabilities. And in the summer of 2001, we did a marathon swim to bring awareness and hopefully raise some funds for our programs. And out of that opportunity, the Kingston Family Y came forward and said, how can we help you start these programs? So that was the beginning of a fabulous partnership.
Right now in Kingston, there is not a lot of things for them to do in this area, so that he's doing this for them, it is amazing. It is great.
We've just recently opened a new campus here called the Beach Grove campus, and that site is going to be a site where all of the kids, both able-bodied and disabled, can participate in a whole variety of sport programs.
Good job, that's it.
Vicki Keith and John Monroe have really been instrumental in bringing this Y back to its roots and back to its fundamental core mission. I mean, the Y is a big entity, and in many cases, behind the scenes, we operate as a business. We are a charity, but at the same time, you always have to have that business infrastructure. I think what John and Vicki did for me personally was to redirect my entire thought process to saying, this is the mission of the Y. The mission of the Y is to serve children and to help develop children. And were we doing that? And in bringing the Adaptive Disability Program to the Y, they really added that special element that I thought was missing to what we do for our community.
I love the Y. I love the Y concept. I love that everybody participates in Y programs. No one sits on the bench. And that's why I came to the Y with the programs for kids with disabilities, because we go along the same lines of what we believe. Right now, we have competitive swimming, wheelchair basketball, a recreational gym program. I would love to see a track and field program. I'd love to see a taekwondo. Any sport that a child wants to participate in, I want to be able to provide for that child.
I think the greatest benefit for me working with the Y and being a volunteer is offering opportunities to young people, watching them grow and excel, seeing them change day by day and overcoming obstacles that they believed that they had, things that they thought were impossible, things that they'd never had the opportunity to do before and now had the opportunity to do. And just watching them grow in confidence and self-esteem for me was all worth every little ounce of energy I put into those swims.
John and Vicki, if nothing else, have demonstrated that where there's a will, there's a way. And John, I still get tears in my eyes when I think about John's swim across Lake Ontario, really focused on just developing awareness as to the initiatives and the desire that he and Vicki have for assisting kids with physical disabilities.
I started working with people with disabilities when I was about 10 years old. I was a volunteer at the local Y in Ottawa, and one of the things that I was assigned to was helping a young boy with a disability in his swimming class. And I remember lifting him into the water and watching the way his eyes would light up, the smile on his face. And even at 10 years old, I could understand that water to him was freedom. And after I worked with him, I went on and volunteered in a lot of different other positions, but it always came back to the water, the freedom. Water's a great equalizer. Every child, able-bodied or disabled, can be in the water and perform and play together.
3 years ago, Eva was 8 years old, and that was the age when she realized that cerebral palsy wasn't the chicken pox. There was no medicine to take the cerebral palsy away. One day, I walked into a room to find Eva sitting on the floor, and she was crying and punching her legs as hard as she could with her fists. And she looked at me and she said, "Mommy, I just can't get my legs to do what they want, what I want them to do. They won't work. Why won't they work for me?" And that was heartbreaking as parents. And that was the moment when we realized we really needed to do something. Eva had always been such a happy child, and she wanted to try to keep up to the other children, but there was no programs that were adapted for your child if they had any sort of physical disability at all. So finding the swim program that John and Vicki have developed here at the YMCA has been literally life-saving for us.
I knew it would be positive. I knew it would be good for the boys. I just didn't realize how good it would be.
The programs that are running through here with Vicki and John are something that could always be expanded into every aspect, every city throughout the country, Canada, even into the U.S. There are so many areas that are lacking with interactive programming with the disabled and the able-bodied. The segregation lies so strong in so many cities that we definitely need to expand this.
Having two children, one with a disability, there's not always sports that are available for children, or there haven't been actually in this area until the swim club came along for Jenna with cerebral palsy. And so probably the biggest benefit would be that they can do this together and be a part of a team together.
John and Vicki lead from the top. They want these guys here on time. They want them changed in the pool. There's some work ethic here, and that's what it's about. It's work hard and have some fun.
I can't even begin to tell you how many doors were closed to Christopher. Why shouldn't a child with disabilities have the same benefits as a child that is able-bodied? Christopher learned how to swim. That, to me, is also life-saving, as well as freedom for him.
My background is physical education, and all my life I've been teaching adults and young people, able-bodied ones, about the values of physical activity. And this was the first time my daughter, who has a disability, was able to experience the joys of physical activity.
I don't think anybody has any comprehension of how much work goes into a marathon swim. And he wanted to do it, and he wanted to do it for the kids, and he wanted to do it to help me help the kids. And there's nothing more wonderful than somebody that has a desire to do something that's that strenuous with the sole purpose of helping others.
Good morning. Yeah, we are so close. I'm still on the kayak here next to John Monroe with his wife, Vicki Keith, his wife/trainer.
What he's accomplished is far from easy. Exhausting, beyond belief, beyond words. There's no way to describe how he feels right now unless you've already been there. He put his heart and soul into this for the kids, and it's been worth it.
And hundreds, if not thousands of people down here to welcome John Monroe back to Kingston from Sackett's Harbor, New York. He's been in the water for over 36 hours swimming for the Kingston Family YMCA to raise money for a disabled children's program.
To actually be on the boat about 2 hours prior to John touching base. And I just can't tell you the emotion that went through me. The fact after 33 hours he stopped swimming and waved at everybody on the boat who came out to support him. But it was the look of the kids on the boat who are part of the Y Penguins program as to their just awness of what John was doing for them.
You know, I thought about a lot of things during the course of the swim, and really there wasn't anything that was going to stop me. I was just amazed that somebody would act that selflessly and put that much effort forward for kids with disabilities and their families, because I know if it was just anybody or me in particular, I wouldn't necessarily be able to do anything like that. So I was just completely speechless.
When I saw John coming in for that last little turn of the marathon, all I wanted to do was get in the water and help him. All I wanted to do was him to hold on to me and I could swim for him. I felt so much for this man, for what he had done and everything he had done for everybody that has all these children with disabilities. I was astonished.
When I saw John touch the rock at the end of his swim, it was just amazing. I thought, he's doing this for us. He's doing this for me. He's doing this for kids with disabilities. He's raising money for us so that we can have fun. We can feel like we belong in a sense. I mean, we do. We aren't not normal or anything, but it felt special because he's giving us opportunities. He's giving us chances to experience things which kids without disabilities can experience on a daily basis.
It's a good eye-opener for me to be with kids with disabilities because I don't just get to see my sister's disability, but I get to see other disabilities also.
My mom will gladly tell you how great I'm doing in swimming, and she loves to kind of brag about everything that I've done with the Y, and she loves to brag about how I couldn't swim 2.5 years ago, and look at how well Vicky's gotten me to do in all the swimming and everything.
John's swim gave me the encouragement to run the 1,500 meter, and that's like a mile.
The teacher came tearing in after her. You've got to come out here. Eva's running the 1,500. So her mother goes tearing out, and the gun goes off, and the kids race ahead of Eva immediately. Like within 2 seconds, Eva's left in the dust. And she continues to run, and she's running along, and she does one full lap, and she looks at her mom, and she goes, "Holy crap!" And she does another lap. This is hard work for her. But what happened was the other kids started to walk and slow down and stop and give up. And Eva kept on running. And 20 minutes and 7 seconds after Eva started the race, she finished in 4th position. She finished 4th in the whole school. And the reason was because everybody else had given up. And the most exciting thing about that was all the kids got it. All the kids understood that they had given up, and Eva had persevered and managed to finish the race. And what an amazing thing to say about nothing is impossible.
And when I touched that pylon, oh man, I was proud of myself. My mom was crying, my grandpa was crying, my friends were proud of me. Hey, I even got a little bit of money out of it.
I think the greatest benefit is watching these children accomplish what people believed was impossible for them. I have watched children whose parents have been told, your child will never stand up, your child will never walk or talk. And I have watched them learn to run. I have watched them become international level athletes. I've watched them head off to university. I have watched a little boy who has never been able to play because of his physical disability get into the pool, learn how to swim, and for the very first time in his life, at the age of 10, learn how to play and be able to laugh and giggle and spend time with friends. And those are the biggest accomplishments that I have seen at this pool.
John and Vicky have set the seed for a tremendous opportunity for all Ys across Canada and across North America and the world, as a matter of fact, to get more involved in developing these types of programs. The Adaptive Disability Program is step one. We would like to expand this program further to incorporate mental and intellectual disability children as well. But I think the major focus and the major opportunity that we have here is to create this awareness as well as this program straight across Canada especially, and provide opportunities for these children, as well as learning opportunities for able-bodied kids to have a much better feeling as to what these kids go through and how we can all interact together to build a better community.
There's nothing wrong with me, and just like anybody here, there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. You know, if there weren't disabled people in the world, like, it wouldn't be a complete world, because everybody in the world is different, right?
Just before this interview is over, I would like to tell you all about my one main dream, is to swim for Canada in the Paralympics the year of 2008 in China.